Kabannas is a relatively new budget accommodation provider in the UK, the United Kingdom. The company started in July 2023, so kind of nearly 18 months ago. We currently have 3 properties in London, Liverpool and Newcastle. We sell a mix of private rooms and also shared accommodation in all 3 of those cities. We cater to groups, so guests that are travelling with more than 10 people, and also to individual guests. As we began to grow as a company, we realised in our Liverpool and Newcastle locations, which are regional cities in the UK, where you don't have as many international guests as you would have in a London or a Paris or somewhere like that, we realised the importance for those 2 properties to be successful, that we needed more group. So therefore, if I then backtrack, I then needed salespeople. And then once I hired salespeople, I needed to be able to see what business they were bringing in. And also, very importantly, to be able to have conversations with them as their leader, have one-to-ones. I needed to be able to see what phone calls had they made, what interactions, what meetings had they had with clients. So that was when we had the realization, I would maybe say late spring, early summer, 2024, that we needed to look for a CRM that suited our business. When we started looking for CRMs, we looked at some of the traditional CRMs that support the hospitality industry, Salesmate, which can be used for many different industries. So that was the process we went through as a company and kind of the research we went before we found Salesmate. It was relatively quick. Obviously, NK helped from a sales perspective and then put it through to the team that helped with the onboarding. We did it over a matter of a few weeks. Because we were manual before and we had Excel spreadsheets, so we weren't doing a data import from a prior CRM, we had Excel spreadsheet, but overall, very positive there as well. And also when I use the online chat for support, when we're doing different things now, once we've been live for a few months, onboarding was good, but the online support is very prompt and very useful. I think being able to connect the email is really great. And again, when we first discuss this with people, sometimes that little sense of, well, what do you mean you can see into my emails? Which is natural, it's a human reaction, but the understanding that it's just the emails from a certain client, a certain company, because we all do live in and work in different locations, that's helped internal communication, whereas we use maybe Teams to chat and say, hey, what about that? What's going on with that client and everything else like that? The fact that we can see all of that in Salesmate, to me, is really valuable when you have a team working in all different locations. So I think that has been really powerful for us. That process has probably saved 2 hours a week in terms of having to have a call and an update with the sales manager to understand it all. They can now see all of that in the system. And in terms of reports, we have, as you know, we recently moved to the Pro subscription within Salesmate, which allows us to customize our own reports. For us to be able to go in and build these customized reports has definitely saved us many hours during the budgeting process. And it isn't just the hours, it's about giving us the confidence to say, okay, we have revenue in these months from these customers. And also it gives us clarity on being able to see where we potentially have a month that doesn't have enough business in the pipeline and we need to activate our sales team to say, maybe February is looking a little bit quiet, we need to go and do that. So there's time saving, which is really important, but then also to help you with your strategy and where you direct your team. Salesmate allows us to see healthy months and then the months that need some attention as well. And maybe we need to reduce our prices or do a promotion or just put more targeted effort into that particular need period. So there's time saving, but I also say it's all about the strategy as well and helping achieve your financial targets. Yeah, we had some part-time assistance from an analyst that did 10 hours a week for us to extract data that we now no longer need. That would be 40 hours a month. What we've done is kind of changed internally. If you need some data, nobody needs to be an analyst, nobody needs to be a financial expert. The team with very little training should be able to go in and extract that. If we build the right customized reports, or we make the changes to the Salesmate dashboard for everybody how they like to see their data, then if I ask them a question on their phone calls, their clients, their revenue, I don't want people spending time collecting the data. I want to talk about the data. And so that has been very useful for us, that we don't need an analyst to help us with that each person that uses Salesmate is responsible. Obviously they receive training, or they can have help from myself. Also kind of empowers them as well to be in control. So there's lots of different business savings, but also just improvements in how you operate and communicate together as a team. Is the ability for us to create key accounts. I think it was a key objective for us. Certain companies that we already were delivering good amounts of revenue, it's easy for us to code them as a key account, to set targets, what are they doing, or also very importantly, maybe a client that isn't quite a key account, but maybe they've come back as a second time and a third time, and then you can easily see that and say, okay, this is good. Can we get that client to come back 5 times, 10 times? And what can we do? So that was a really key objective for us, to be able to see in each location who could potentially be our key accounts, and should we put some energy into that? Because I think we all know, whatever industry you're in, once you have a client, that's the hard work. Can you make them a repeat client? And then that becomes an easier relationship to maintain, rather than constantly bringing in new clients, which is hard work. So that has been really good from a key account perspective, and also for us to be able to see what different companies, the amount of revenue that they're bringing in into a location. But also we can look at the company as a whole, and we can see, oh, maybe they're bringing in revenue to the second hotel or the third hotel. So each client has individual value, but maybe as we get ready to open a 4th property next year in Edinburgh, we can also see what current key accounts can maybe bring in revenue into our 4th property and our 5th property as we grow. So the key account management, the ease of that is really great, and to be able to report on that, our customized reporting, that has really fulfilled a key objective for us. And it helped me put together the 2025 revenue budget. And I also have been able to set target goals for key accounts as well. So that has been easy to do in Salesmate. So a really key objective for the company was identifying key accounts, setting revenue targets, and then being able to see how much each company is giving us across the portfolio. So that has been fantastic. The fact that it is so customizable in your setup area when you go through your deals, your companies and everything else like that, the fact that all of your fields you can change to language which makes sense to your industry and to your company. The names of the fields, we can change the order in which we want the deals form, or what fields we want in the contacts or anything else like that. The customization of it, and the fact that you as an admin user can do that yourself. There's very few things you have to ask for support for. Means you can make real-time changes, and you can log a ticket if you need some help, but you can take ownership with very little training. I'm not a technical person, but it's relatively easy for me to go into Salesmate and make changes. So that, to me, you could use that in any industry, and I think that is the most positive thing about Salesmate, is how customizable it is. I would say 8 or 9 out of 10. I would say it's one of the easiest. It's not because it's simple. Like, Salesmate has a lot of great features to it, but it's very quick to onboard people, and you'll definitely be part of our growth strategy. You know, we aim to be at kind of 10, 12 hotels relatively quickly, and Salesmate will be a core part of our growth strategy for onboarding new people.